Okay, in this video I want to feature Ol Green. There were several people that was curious about some of the things that I've done with her. A little bit of detail about her. Ol Green is a 1968 Chevrolet C10 250 straight 6, 3-speed on the column, transmission, manual. Engine and transmission and rear end are factory with a couple of upgrades to the engine. The transmission and rear end are still the same as they came out in, I suppose, 1967. The interior, what I have done with the interior is basically I have added seats from a 2000 Chevrolet Silverado, and this center console right here will fold up so that way you can still have your full seat to ride 3 people. Most of the time I keep it down because that gives me a comfortable place to rest my arm and stuff. It's even got a clipboard. That didn't come out in '68. Something else that didn't come out in 1968 is the stereo. I know that looks factory, doesn't it? It's supposed to. I don't really like big aftermarket fancy stereos. I kind of also, for theft prevention, I guess, it's a good idea to have the original stereo in there because nobody's going to fool with an AM radio. Little do they know, that is a Bluetooth radio. I built that. You cannot buy those. I used the original radio case and I put all the electronics in it. This button right here, you push that to pair it with your phone, and the volume knob turns it up and down right here. There is a little hole right here drilled in it, and that is where the microphone is. So I can talk hands-free, although this truck's pretty noisy, so you don't hear much. Alright, this right here was cut out because I had, it seems to me like I've had this truck since I was like 12. Been driving it since I was 16. I'm 43 now. So I've had it for a while. And I got a CB radio that was that big. And I wanted it in my truck, but I didn't want to put it under the dash. Now 100 times I wish I would have just put it in the dash because I cut here and here. So I just never really fooled with putting it back together. 3-speed on the column, like I said before. If you're not familiar with that, it is a standard shift transmission. As you can see, there's a clutch. First gear is all the way down like this. Second gear, up, over. There's second. And then third is straight down like that. Then to go in reverse, from the middle, you pull it back and go up like that. That's reverse. Now, I usually put it in first and let out the clutch and she'll hold. The emergency brake, that's factory. You don't really see that anymore. Okay, a couple of little special features that I've got on. First place we will look is under the hood here. Show you what all I've done. Okay, this is the old straight 6. Let me just walk you through a few things. This is not the original distributor cap. This is a distributor from a more modern pointless ignition. This does not have points. It's the high energy ignition. The original had the coil mounted over here, and it had just a regular distributor here with points inside of it. And points are simple to work on, but they require that you adjust them very often. So I changed that out. Some people have been curious about this before. This right here is a cutoff valve for the heater core. I put this on years ago because if there is antifreeze flowing through those lines, then you consistently have hot air blowing into your cab, and you don't want that in the summertime. So I added this. I used to bypass the heater core, which was just run a hose straight out and straight back in. But later on I just decided, and it didn't cause any overheating problems or anything like that. I just put it to where I could close it off here. Works fine. Okay, here you have 2 alternators. And, okay. Why do I have 2 alternators? Well, I'm glad you asked. This is actually not the alternator that charges the battery. This is a welder. As you can see, it has a relay back here. Has several wires. Has a big wire leading from here all the way back to the toolbox, which I will show you that in a minute. You may be wondering about the tire valve on the master cylinder cover. What that is, and it doesn't work real great on this one, that is a one-man bleeder. There's a better way to do it, but that's just what I ended up coming up with, and I just left it in there because I just didn't feel like putting another cover on. It still works fine. But what you would do is you would pressurize it right here with about 5 or 6 psi. You don't want to put much in it. 10 psi at the most into there. Then you would go around to each wheel and you would loosen up your bleeder valves on each wheel, all 4 of them. And once you went around and did all that, you would have your brakes would be bled. Just come back up, top the fluid off, and that's it. Okay, another little feature that people have been asking me about, and is probably the handiest thing I ever did with this truck, is my toolbox, which is right there. Let me show you. Okay, like I said, this is my toolbox. To get into it, you need this to open the toolbox. It is a remote control for a little receiver that's inside of the toolbox. Now what you do when you push the button, it releases latches on both sides, and then the whole bedside lifts up. Got my little prop in there. You can hear the latches clicking. Okay, let me give you a close-up view of that. Okay, here are the latches. What it is a gate latch. And I welded them to the steel of the old original bed where I'd cut it out. And this is a door lock popper from a Lumina, and that is how it pops the lock open. Okay, see, I don't really love the push button lock thing. I'm going to redo the other side, and I'm going to document everything so y'all can see everything that I do, every single item that I do to it. So if you want to build one of your own, it will make it a lot easier. But all I did, this is bed frame from old, people throw away their bed frames. I'll come and pick it up and build stuff out of it. And it is what frames up the entire thing, all the way to here and all the way up to here. And it really, you can see how much I added to it, a couple inches. And that gives you enough room to fit toolbox, loose tools. Here are my lenses. When I redo the other side, see, I still have the old lens on here, as you can see, and there's a LED. You can see the LED inside there. I didn't put the new lens on yet because I want to, and also I didn't cut it out for this. I had the old lens, the old backup light lens screwed on here, and I put the screws too tight, I guess, or something bumped against it. I'm not sure what happened, but this fell off. I didn't put a backup light in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole, and I'm going to have strobes in here, because as you can see, I got the strobe light on top. That way when I'm flagging, I can have these flashing on both sides. And I'll have brand new lights that way, so it'll look a little bit better. I'm slowly getting the parts together. I got some more bed frame already, and I need to get a piano hinge. See, the thing is, I used, oh, there's a wasper nest. Get rid of that. I used regular door hinges, like barn hinges. This does not work very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get piano hinges to go all the way across, so it's one solid piece. Anyway, this is where my welder comes out. Back here, you have, this is the hot and this is the ground. This is the wire that plugs into the end of the jumper cables right here, and that is what, when you push the button, it engages the alternator. It engages the field is what it does. That probably should be folded back there. Okay, that has got the toolbox. Oh yeah, I'm going to eventually put an air tank right here and a small compressor that may go in here or something. There are several things I'm going to do different when I do the other side that I've learned from doing this side. But like I said, it was just a little project. Got the new bed sides, and I decided that I wanted to try to do something a little different. And I'm glad I did it. That's very handy. It keeps people from walking by, looking down in the bed of your truck and seeing your toolbox and just walking off with it, because it can happen. Alrighty, well, that has most of what I can think of right now. Ol Green by no means is perfect. Yeah, I think she's a good looking truck. I mean, I love the way she looks, but she's not perfect. She needs some work. Like this door, right here, rusting back out again. Actually, the bottom of this door, and actually, well, the whole door, I didn't redo it when I actually painted her. But years ago, probably 30 years ago, my dad and my uncle and I took this door off, and we worked the bottom of it down, got it good and smooth, and got it ready. So it's lasted a while. It's lasted about 30 years. So there are several things that I need, but this truck works almost every day. It goes to work with me. It takes me back and forth. I flag out of it. I have used it at work to weld some stuff together. I have jumped people off plenty of times. You know, this old truck has been driving up and down a creek for almost all of its life. The previous owners of this truck were right over here. My grandpa, which is right there, and my dad, which is the very back one. Those were the previous owners of this truck. And before Grandpa had it, it was purchased in Florida by a sign painting company. And he brought it back home, and he said that he thought this truck would last him the rest of his life. Little did he know he was going to be passing away within a few months. But it not only lasted the rest of his life, it lasted the rest of Dad's life. And the last job that this truck will do for me will be to haul my coffin in the back of it up here to this graveyard. And then this truck will belong to my son. So this truck is actually a family heirloom. It has been around for a long, long time. One more thing that I had done to her. These headlights, you can see all the little LEDs around. These are not sealed beam headlights. These are composite headlights that you can see the bulb in there. It's a replaceable bulb. And the LEDs light up with the ignition. Let me show you how it works. Okay, I'm going to turn the key on. The LEDs light up. I got these off of Amazon. They just pretty much just replace the regular headlight. They're like 40 bucks for a set. And the headlights are a lot brighter than what they used to be. And all this stuff that I've done to Ol Green is all on my channel. I'll put links down in the description to all the videos. They're all pretty much in a playlist that shows most of the things. I didn't do video I didn't do a video on the headlights or anything like that, but most of the other stuff, like the toolbox, I didn't do a detailed video. I was about halfway through the build before I even thought about filming, so there's a little quick video on there about it, but it's not detailed. When I do the other side, I'm going to do a detailed video describing everything. But I've got videos on the welder, how I put the welder in, the Bluetooth stereo. I have detailed instructions of how I did that. But if you want to check them out, just go in the description and look for the link to the playlist, and you can just go through and pick whichever one you want. But I guess that's going to be about it for this video. Thank you for watching. See you next time.